Shetima, -2, -3. Start from -2 and go backward 3 times.
-2 plus 3, start from -2 and go forward 3 times.
What's the sum of -3 and 7? Sum is addition, right? Difference is minus. Sum addition, so -3 plus 7. Remember the rule says when minus and minus meet, you get a plus. When plus and plus meet, you get a plus. But when minus and plus meet, you get a minus. Right? Like when minus and minus, don't get it wrong. When you have minus and minus, you add, although it's gonna have a minus at the end. For instance, if you have -3 minus 7, you do 7 plus 3, it will give you 10, but the answer is going to be a minus, though you add. So that's what I mean by minus, minus, plus. When you have -3 minus 7, you do 7 and 3, add them together, it's going to give you 10. Your answer is going to be -10. So in this case, -3 plus 7, when minus plus meet, you subtract. So 7 take away 3 is 4. Then you look at the bigger number and the sign by it. The bigger number is 7 and the sign by this big number is plus. So your answer is going to be plus. So -3 plus 7 is 4. Another way to say this is if you're owing 3 and you're having 7, you owe 3 but you have 7. By the time you pay that 3 away, you'll be left with 4. If you want to use the number line, the number line goes like this. So it's, if you're saying -3, you start from -3 and plus 7 means you go 7. You go forward 7 times from -3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see, it stops at 4. So our answer is 4. This one says a line that divides a circle into 2 halves. That is a diameter. This is a circle into 2 halves. Let's assume this is the middle of the circle and it divides it equally. That's a diameter. So this line is called a diameter. If this line was not brought to the center, what if this line cut through here? You don't call it a diameter, you call it a chord. A chord. Oh yeah, this is a chord. Can you see it clearly? But if it's at the center, if the chord comes to the center, it becomes a diameter. Now, if you combine this chord, okay, let's just treat this part. What about this part of the circle? Any part of the circle along the circumference of the circle. Just something like this. When you cut a part, this is called an arc. So this is an arc. When I cut along the circumference of the circle, remember the complete circle is the circumference. Complete circle along the perimeter, along the edges is the circumference. Part of this complete circle is called an arc. Then this is a chord. If I combine a chord and an arc all together, what do I get? You call this a segment. Now that's the segment. If you combine, a segment is made up of a chord and an arc. Then remember that this diameter, half of it, it's called a radius. Half of it from the center of the circle to any part on the circumference is called a radius. So this is a radius, this is a radius. Radius, radius. As long as from the center you draw that line to the perimeter, you call that the radius. But what happens when you take this shape like this, and like this, that forms an angle here. This, 2 radii, and then all together with an arc here gives you what you call a sector. So these are the parts of a circle. A sector is bounded by 2 radii and an arc, while a segment is bounded by an arc and a chord. At the left, the circumference is the perimeter around the circle. The sector is the portion marked green with an angle. The radius runs from the center towards the circumference. The arc is a part along the circumference. Then at the left, the segment is the part marked green that looks like a cap. The arc is along the circumference while the chord cuts through the circle. This says an angle on a straight line Of course, an angle of a straight line is 180 degree. 180 degrees. Now, when a perpendicular angle comes to this horizontal, that's perpendicular at 90 degree, perpendicularly, this is 90 degree. It must be perpendicular, straight down to the horizontal. It's 90 degree. Okay, if it is less than 90, of course, it's acute. Less than 90, acute. Less than 90, acute. What about if it's from here, that goes beyond and it crosses to the other end? From here, goes beyond 90 and goes like this, such that we have this. If it goes this way, from here, goes like this, is obtuse. It's obtuse. And then, what if it's from here, goes all the way from here? It goes beyond 90, it goes beyond obtuse, and then it goes beyond 180, and here it is. So all the way through like this, this one becomes a reflex angle. Reflex, because it's more than 90, it's more than 180 until it crosses. So it's more than 180 is reflex. But then what if it starts from here, it goes beyond acute? Oh no, it goes to 90, goes beyond 90, it goes to obtuse, goes beyond obtuse, goes beyond 180, goes beyond this to become a reflex, and it goes and makes a complete revolution. A complete revolution is 360 degree.
Multiples of 4? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And for 8, 8, 16, 24, 32.
Question says LCM of 3 and 5. What is LCM? Lowest common multiple. So let's see how many multiples of 3 we can get. 3, 6, 9, 3 times 3, 9, 3 times 4, 12, 2 times 5, 15, 3 times 6, 18, 3 times 7, 21, and so on. We stop here. 5 times 1, 5 times 2, 10, 5 times 3, 15, 5 times 4, 20, 5 times 5, 25, 5 times 6, 30, 5 times 7, 35. So all these are multiples. So among the, which is the least common multiple? 3 is here, it's not here. So it's not common. 6 is not common. 9 is not common. 12 is not common. 15 is common. So the least common multiple is 15. If you like, you want to do the other way around, you just say, oh, 3 and 5. 3 and 5. 3 here. 3 and 3, 1. 3 and 5, it cannot go, so you put the 5 down. Then 3 can no longer go, the next number is 5. 5 here, 1, 1. You're left with 3 and 5. So 3 times 5 is equals to 15. So, catch you at the top and stay sharp.